Just when you thought that the Sparking Zero drama couldn't get any worse, today we woke up to some news that I would say was probably the littlest bit of fuel that you needed in order to set this community on fire, and that was that the players from the qualifiers in the France tournament were officially disqualified. Now, because of this decision, it has led to an even bigger divide within the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero community, because some people thought that this was rightfully so, and other people think that, you know, it was wrongfully done. But if we just forget about all of that for a second, it is no secret that we know these certain things that need to be fixed in this game. I've said it in my past 2 videos. I feel like if I was to mention it again in this video, I would sound like a broken radio at this point, but it's all there. Everyone has made videos about it on YouTube and has posted it in the Sparking Zero community on Twitter. Everyone knows for the most part these certain exploits in this game, but that is not the issue here. If we take a look at this tweet here, pretty much what the main issue here is that this decision was made after those events happened in the grand finals. Now, for those of you who don't know what happened, pretty much right here in this tweet explains it all. So as soon as the grand finals first match started, this is exactly what was going on.
I don't know what's going on. What's the... Oh yeah, we're swapping out.
I mean, even the commentators didn't know what to say, and obviously this is not something enjoyable to watch. Nobody wants to see people go up and down for like 10 minutes just to survive or whatever the tactic is, right? But just to clarify for you guys why people even do this in the first place, so it's pretty much a mechanic in the game that allows you to do this unlimited ascending and descending, and while you're doing this, it makes it impossible for your opponent to do 2 things, which is dragon dash at you and send ki blast at you, because pretty much in that state you're deflecting all the ki blast and you cannot get locked on by your opponent. So therefore, like, people do this while their opponents go into instant sparking mode, because it makes it even harder for them to go ahead and send those infinite ki blasts at you, another exploit in the game, or attack you with infinite combo hits, and you guys know the rest. So that's pretty much why people do this in the first place. But going into this grand finals, that was the first thing that both of these players decided to do. Like, they didn't even throw a punch. It was literally just up and down, and it went on like that for at least 10 minutes or so, apparently. I mean, I could be exaggerating there. So if we take a look at the actual ping that was made by the admin there, it says the tournament organizers have determined that 2 players engaged in actions that violated the code of conduct during the qualifier tournament. Their actions disrupted the normal operation of the event. The tournament organizers have decided to take the following measures. 1. Disqualification of both players. 2. Revocation of qualification for the Battle Hour Grand Final. 3. The 3rd place players will be invited to compete in a match under the supervision of administrators off stream. The winner will qualify for the Battle Hour Grand Final. And this right here is what seals the deal and pretty much is making everybody go crazy in the community right now. The tournament organizers will continue to strictly address any violations or inappropriate behavior. We ask for the understanding and cooperation of all participants, spectators, and staff. So with this decision, pretty much what they did is seal the future of the event, where nobody can do this, or else you know that you're gonna get disqualified. But what makes it an even bigger problem is because according to Heliester and Shiru, they took their steps in order to even see if this was something that they can do in the game by pinging the admins and or sending messages in the actual tournament group, where they were asking, can I run all the match though doing this specific mechanic. So he was saying, because I'll win to timer with that. I can't understand French, so I can't translate this, but he was literally asking, he's like, can the mod answer my question please? Can I run and win to timer, yes or no? And then someone was like, there's nothing about running away from the whole game in the rules, so he pretty much decided it's legit then. Now, I can't speak for what the actual rules of the tournament were, because 1, I'm not participating in the actual event, and 2, I don't have it in front of me. But either way, it's all disrupted, because apparently after all those decisions was made, this right here was modified and it pretty much says engaging in any other behavior deemed by the tournament group to be inappropriate or otherwise tampers with gameplay and operation of tournament events. There's so many things wrong with this rule right here because one, it pretty much leaves it to the eye of the tournament organizers to deem whether or not something that you're doing is good or bad. Now, obviously this falls into common sense. I mean, if you see that it's an exploit that you're doing, don't do it, right? But the problem is that this was something that was made after the fact, because literally right here it says modified, which translates to modified or edited in English, obviously. So this is something that was added after the fact, after that Shiru and Haliester did their roles in seeing whether or not this was something that they could do in the event overall. And it leads me to this place where I could say I see both sides to the situation. If we take a moment to just go into the shoes of the players here, right? Like I said, they did their role. They did everything they can. If it was something that legitimately was not mentioned before they even entered into this tournament, they did nothing wrong, right? As cheesy as it is, as annoying as it is, and not fun to watch, they didn't do anything wrong. It's something that's a part of the game that's broken, and their goal is to win, and that's how they're gonna win, right? But from a tournament perspective side, now there's obviously so many things that can go wrong here, because number one, if you let this go, well, guess what? All the remaining qualifiers that have to happen, people will know about this, and they're gonna do the same exact thing. People are not gonna wanna watch that. It ruins your event, etc, etc. But see, at this point it's just one big combustion, because it's like it's so much different things that literally the main reason why this even started was because the tournament itself was just not organized properly. These tournament organizers have pretty much taken these two players and used them as an example, and the players walk away with literally nothing but wasted time. I mean, given, obviously, like I said, it's common sense. If you know it's an exploit and you're playing at a competitive stage, obviously you should know that you have a risk of being banned for this specific action that you're doing. But in their defense, like I said, if you actually took the action to see if it was okay, and it was not stated anywhere in whatever form that you guys signed before to enter this tournament, then technically they really did not do anything wrong. And if you ask me what I think the solution for this would be, I feel like they should be compensated in some way, shape, or form, because at this point, not only did you use them to your advantage to set them as an example for the community, but they wasted their time and you cannot get that time back. So, you know, do something at least, right? Do something for them. At least do it in a sense where you come to a mutual agreement, right? Say, hey, we're sorry that we have to do this, but this is the only way for our event to continue. And with that decision in mind, we'll go ahead and put you in some future event or give you something. I don't know. I don't know what it could be, but you gotta own up to your mistake as a tournament organizer. You cannot just simply straight up ban people, because it doesn't look good on you as a representative for just future tournaments in general. And all of this ties back into my last video that I made talking about, are we the problem when it comes to this game? And yes, I said it in the last video and I'm gonna say it again. Yes, we are a part of this problem. Yes, the game does have its problems of its own, but there's certain things, especially when you just take a look at this community that we have in Twitter, things are being lost in translation. Now, I can't confirm or deny if Shiru and Haliester said this themselves and agreed to this, but people are saying that they wanted to showcase this so that the developers can see this exploit in the game. And when you hear that as a tournament organizer, it pretty much leads you to the conclusion that these two players right here were colluding through the whole tournament, and obviously that is something that's against any sort of competitive environment overall. So therefore, that's why this decision was made the way that it was. And obviously, I'm not saying it wasn't to their benefit. Like I mentioned earlier, had they let this go on and not use it as an example, it would probably ruin the rest of the tournament. Overall, it's just one big mess, and having this the way that it's going is just not adding to the fact that Sparking Zero is in a really bad state. And last night, we had a maintenance go on. I don't know what exactly they did. Till this moment, I have not seen any specific patch notes whatsoever of what happened during that maintenance. But All I know is that it had to do with custom battles and ranked matches, and they mentioned something about the fact that they would be updating the character rank points for all players whose points were reset, and to ensure a fair and enjoyable gaming experience, we are strengthening timeout penalties against players with excessive disconnection or quitting rates during online matches. So those are pretty much the only two things that were mentioned by this page. That's all I know as far as the patches that could have possibly happened in this maintenance. Nothing about specific character nerfs and buffs or anything to do with specific mechanics in the game. And like I said, because of everything that's going on and with all these different issues that we have, it's just one big explosion that's happening all at the same time. These little fixes, yes, they will be great. Maybe it'll bring back a little small percentage of the player base, but it's not going to bring everybody back because you still have instant sparking issue, you still have key blast issue, you still have up and down issues, and whatever else you guys want to nitpick at. So this is why I say that we are part of the problem, because there's a lot of different things that we're all asking for, and there was group members from this community who took their time to even make a whole document stating these different things that they wish to be attended to in the future. Like, it's like a 6-7 page document. All I gotta say is I appreciate their support and dedication to making this game a better overall experience, but after reading some of that document is that a lot of what's on that list is mostly catering to a competitive scene. And listen, that's great, right? Everyone, you guys could have your competitive scene, but you also cannot forget that there's people like me who are in more of the casual side of things. I don't want to play this game just to be in a competitive state and constantly sweating my ass off. I mainly just want to play this game because I wanted to make content and have a good time. There's other people outside of this who have full-time jobs or families that they gotta support, and they just want to hop on and play one of their favorite animes as their favorite characters, do some throwing hands, ass whooping, whatever, and hop off. And that's why I say that we are the problem, because there's a lot of things that we want, but we're not taking the time to appreciate what's actually in front of us. That doesn't mean that the developers are off the hook, because a lot of this could have been avoided had they just made that playable test or whatever those early content creators and people who went to these events had chance of playing with. It was like a demo, whatever, right? Had they just made a beta that was available to everybody and then they took those notes from there, a lot of these exploits would have been figured out earlier. I mean, look at how quick it took for them to figure out what's going on in the game right now. Hasn't even been 2 months yet, and a lot of this has been happening since a month ago. So just goes to show you that with a simple beta test, all of this could have been at least minimized. I won't say fully avoided, because at the end of the day, when you look at any game, right, not just fighting games, but any game, over time there's going to be new things that arise, and it's going to involve some sort of balancing, patching, and so on to make the game a better overall experience and in a more perfect state for you guys. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for today. I'm not really one to come and speak about things like this when it comes to games, but I feel like because I have a platform and I could use it to just raise an awareness for this game, because, you know, we waited over a decade for this game and it's just flopping, and just with the state of overall anime games, right? Like, listen guys, I've played enough anime games to tell you that a lot of them are not even close to like the production that came from this one. You know, as bad as it sounds, we want to support this game for as long as we can, because listen, if we let this flop and it just goes to shit straight off bat, they're not going to develop anything close to this ever again, because if they're most spent on product is not being received in a way that is benefiting them and they're getting something in return, they're not doing that shit again. They're gonna take the easy way. They don't care about passion when it comes to business. It's always going to be business first and then passion. So remember that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you guys want to see some more Sparking Zero content in the future, or anime content in general. This is probably gonna be the last video where I sit here and talk about all of this crap. I want to just play the game and make content. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Take it easy. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.